Appreciate everyone coming out today. And this morning, Commissioner Conley and his grandson are going to handle the pledge. I'm going to step over here so I'm out of your way.
Okay. Ready?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Shake his hand. Okay. Say a prayer, please. Yes. Gracious Lord, Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for our individual lives. We especially thank you for the youth of this community. And they say these kids nowadays, well, right here's an example of the kids in this community nowadays. We thank you for him. We thank you for the opportunities that we have in this county to better ourselves and the people around us. We ask you to be with us now as we conduct the business and the affairs of the county, that we do the things that would please you. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you.
Hit it. Thanks.
All right, we'll call our meeting to order and entertain a motion for the claims in the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, got a motion. Second, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All right. Okay, we got the ARPA recommendation. Gary, you handling that?
Yeah, our first on the agenda is Corey, if you want to come forward, give your presentation, please.
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. How are all of you today?
Doing well.
Good. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for hearing our recommendation for the Kosciuszko County Convention Visitors Bureau. It is for an exciting new digital signboard that has the opportunity to drive millions to Kosciuszko County and all of our amazing destinations. So for over 24 years, our current V sign, if we're all familiar with, the very, very familiar sign, has been a welcoming beacon to our leisure, corporate, and pass-through visitors, as well as our residents, to the visitor center and to Kosciuszko County. While this sign has been a great wayfinding tool for the visitor center, it's currently static, and now we have an opportunity to expand its digital marketing. So we're hoping that this will be a great way to share why Kosciuszko County is a great place to live, work, and play, and learn. So this message sign, similar to many of those digital signs we see along 30, would be in its current space at the visitor center. And we're hoping to be able to communicate all things Kosciuszko County, from events, health and wellness, quality of life, as well as any safety messaging that the county may need as well. So if there's any Amber Alerts, any weather advisories that you would need us to put on that sign to anybody passing, we have that capability. And there's an estimated over 8 million vehicles that travel US 30 annually. So we're hoping to capture those visitors and pass through and keep those people in that are passing through to our destinations throughout the county. And with that, we're hoping to expand the tourism economic impact, which was over $2 million in 2019. So the capability of this sign has over 13 million marketing impressions a year, and we estimate that about 1.5 people per car. You know how that works. But the recommendation of the sign is 16 feet by 8 feet. And this was a recommendation to the sign company that we worked with, as well as our board of directors. And the full cost of this is $160,000. And the ARPA committee recommended $100,000 towards that. And we do have opportunity with some other grant locations, which we've been speaking with, to be able to get the remaining dollars for that. So this would also be not just the digital sign, but it would also be a welcoming, if anyone needed to look at what this may look like, I have copies. But it would just be in its current space, and it would say Kosciuszko County Visitor Center, and it would be illuminated. And we're trying to keep a little bit of that V still in there without it being as obvious as its current state. So it will be about 24 feet high. In its current state, we wouldn't need right-of-way, has already been taken care of, because it's just going to replace the current sign. So I didn't know if there were any other questions for us. We're hoping this could further our success in promoting Kosciuszko County to travelers as well as residents of things happening across the county.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I guess when we heard this at the ARPA committee, I know the committee really looked at this as an opportunity to really market our events and everything that the county has. And, you know, when you see 13 million views a year, I mean, that's a lot of people that this sign could really impact. So we did allocate that $100,000, which is not the full amount. So they had to come up with the remainder of the amount to try and leverage those funds as much as possible. But I'd make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, any other questions, discussion? All's in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you. All right, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Steve.
I am here to hopefully get recommended from the ARPA committee. It's the 1300 North Extension. So currently we're having an overpass being put up in the town of Milford, and this would connect that town of Milford overpass to where we had put that in all the way to the city limits of Syracuse. This would be a partial match. Trying to use other funds to complete the whole road section. This would be widening of the shoulders, overlaying with new asphalt, and making sure that it could handle the semi-traffic going between State Road 13 and State Road 15 from Milford to Syracuse. And it's for $1,888,000. This would have a financial impact to the county, hopefully bringing new enterprise and new jobs to the northern part of our county.
Okay.
And preserving, I mean, we've got Pollywood there that's growing at an astronomical
Yeah.
rate.
And looking further to maybe increase jobs in that area as well.
Okay, that's a project that we've been looking at for the last 10 years or
Yes.
longer. And to get federal funds to help us further that project or complete that project, I'd make a motion, we accept his request.
I would second that. I'd just also like to make note of, you know, I know these were some of our ARPA dollars that we had, and some of the loss of, some of the money that we had from ARPA, $10 million of that was for loss of income from the county. And I know one of the areas that we did have loss of income was from our gas and gas tax during that time. So I know there was some concern about using ARPA funds for highway funding, but this is one of the areas that was most impacted by COVID from a funding perspective for the county. So we're just trying to refill the coffers that, you know, we had lost during that time. And that's what some of this money was meant for, was income replacement. So I'd second that motion.
Okay. Any other questions or discussions? All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm going to do the other one while we're up here right now. I'm asking also for permission today to sign an agreement with United Consulting on the engineering and construction inspection of Bridge Small Structure 320, and that's on T26 in Oswego. Lots of boats use that, and we're wanting to get the perimeter design done and also put in there for construction inspection and right-of-way. This is so that we can apply for a Community Crossings matching grant to pick up half of this. So they'll pay for half if we get this in. It's just so we can go through and get the application prepared for this.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve.
second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Keep up the good work, Steve. Thank you.
Marcia.
Okay, the first item I have for approval for the ARPA is the fire alarm system for the courthouse. Last fall, we replaced the alarm system in the Justice Building as it was outdated, and the courthouse is just as outdated as the old one. So what that does is update it. This alarm system will be connected to the system that was installed in the Justice Building. It will have audio, just the same as the Justice Building. And what would happen if there was a weather alert, dispatch has a button in the dispatch center that they would push that button and it will simultaneously alert both buildings. So just updating equipment that's out of date.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve.
second.
All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So the Justice Building project, that's just an update to a lot of the carpeting, wallpaper, and painting in that building. It's been over 20 years since anything's been done there. We do have wallpaper that is peeling and coming off the walls. It's a commercial grade wallpaper, so it's heavier. We have had someone come in and try and glue that back in place, but that only lasts for so long, and we were advised that it would just be a waste of money to continue to try and re-glue the wallpaper. So this would take care of all of those issues.
I know we've had a lot of conversations about this over years, it seems
Yes.
like, and trying to avoid a big expenditure, but the building is, I think it's closer to 24 years old. So,
Yeah. Well, Marcia and I took a walk through the building last week or 2 weeks ago, and it's like any building that with age deteriorates, and it's to the point where we need to either do it now or pay much more later, and I think that's a good idea. I'll make a motion, we accept the request.
Second that.
Okay, all's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Cabs, Steve. Morning, sir.
Good morning. This is for the quarterly claim for January through March 2023. There are two awards funds for this claim. The first is a 5311 Federal and State Operation Fund. The claim represents 50% federal operating assistance in the amount of $56,394, and the state funds in the amount of $28,197, totaling of $84,591. The second half of the reward funds is through the CARES Fund. The federal funds are paid at 100% in the amount of $64,401, no match required. The combination of the operation expenses for this quarter totals of $148,992.
Very good. Thank you for that information.
How's your ridership doing?
Doing pretty good, yeah.
I'd make a motion to approve the filing and reimbursement report for through NDOT.
Okay.
Second.
Okay. All's in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. The
All right,
ayes have
all
it.
right.
Thank
All
you
right,
very
thank you.
much. Okay, Barry, saw you back there.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Well, I'm actually just here to apologize and ask for your forgiveness. We had a grant that we applied for, that the timing of it unfortunately just wasn't conducive to get here like we normally would to ask for permission. So we applied and we got it, and we're thankful for it. So I'm kind of here just letting you know that we did that, and hopefully you'll find it in your gracious heart to give me a mulligan on this one.
Mulligan, get
The
it?
money's for drug court. It's going to help pay for incentives for the participants for graduation supplies. Help's going to cover some of our travel to the National Drug Court Conference, and also going to help pay for some of the indigent funding for treatment. So it was a total of $10,000. The money has already arrived, and we're eager to get it spent.
There you go.
Hopefully you'll forgive me.
Yeah, I guess we don't need a motion because it's already there.
I mean, I'll make a motion to approve. I mean, we understand that some of these grant timings are really
I'll
short.
second his motion for discussion.
Okay. All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
Have a good week.
It's
all good.
Next time you come, make it 100,000, would you?
I'll try harder.
I'm just saying, you know,
All right, next we have our,
bad boy.
our nonprofits. Got Tyler with 4-H.
I make mine 100,000.
You can ask, the answer's no.
Okay.
Good morning.
That's
Good
how-
morning.
That's how that works. You can ask for anything.
I can ask for it,
Yeah.
Bob, okay. We won't change our ask.
There you go.
Morning, everybody. I'm here representing the Kosciuszko County 4-H program, the council. I'm here with my executive team,
Barry Ostrom and Steve Trump. Andrew Farrell, that is the county educator, couldn't make it because he's at 4-H camp all this week. So we're here doing the ask and providing the information that you need. To make the best better, that's been the 4-H motto for years, ever since I was in there over 30 years ago. And we want to continue to do that, and we appreciate your support in doing that. The funds that we request are to provide additional, well, it's operating funds is what it is, to provide support to the programs that Andrew puts out, to support and educate the youth in the community, which Andrew has served since October 1st of last year, over 2,500 youth in the community. That includes the 4-H group, as well as the extension to programs such as he works with the YMCA, STEM, and also the Boys and Girls Club, as well as the others. So our ask is a 3% increase. That's because operating funds have continued to go up. We feel that's a modest ask, but it's the dollar figures are there. The memorandum of agreement has increased a little over 1% going into this year. The rest of the request comes from operating funds to provide additional support to the youth programs that Andrew is working with the rest of his educators on. Any questions?
No, just a comment. My oldest grandson that did the pledge earlier, a couple of years ago, got involved with 4-H this year, and he's doing a project on his own as a 6-year-old. And he's designing a farm with a barn and livestock and water and
Yes.
feed. And it's a good program, and he's really into it. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Glad that he's involved in it.
It is.
And we need more. Andrew's done a great job. He's increased enrollment. I think we're, since he's come on board in COVID, we fell off a little bit, but we're up just in the 4-H enrollment, almost 500. And then the mini 4-H program, which is what your son is probably involved in. The mini 4-H program, it's going to be, what is it, another 150, 200? Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
He spent all day yesterday cutting and pasting and
Yeah.
and coloring and gluing. And, yeah, thank you. Appreciate
Good,
it.
thank you.
I figured that, yeah, I'll say that. I figured that. So, one thing I just no, you're good. You can go ahead. You're good. I'm just going to say that, just so everybody knows, we're just listening today. We're not making any recommendations, so everybody's clear on that.
Take our advice on.
So, okay. Vicki with Cardinal Center. Cardinal Services, sorry. Get that right.
Hi, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity, and it will be Cardinal Center to a lot of individuals forever, but thank you for your continued support for Cardinal, and we could not achieve our purpose without your support. We are requesting $111,373. For calendar year 2024, this support will be used for operations, programs specifically in Head Start, Early Head Start, Healthy Families, and CABS. Head Start, it helps prepare economically disadvantaged children, birth to age 5, for success in school. Nearly 200 students were served this last year. Head Start, Early Head Start, also has in-home supports for the birth to 3 years of age. We do have 3 classrooms at the Head Start location on Buffalo. We also have classrooms at North Webster, Lincoln, Leesburg, and Claypool and Mentone school systems. To give you some perspective, a family of 4 in this program cannot earn more than $27,750 to qualify. We have over 50 eligible Head Start students that are on the waiting list, and we are seeing an increased occurrence in mental health needs and homelessness that continues to rise each year. Healthy Families, that is working with families that are at risk, we're stepping in, walking alongside them to help prevent child abuse. We provide families to learn healthy parenting. We do provide this in-home supports again for this. We serve over 55 families monthly. We also have several partners that refer to Healthy Families, which are doctor's offices, all the local hospitals, WIC, and the Department of Children's Services. Also, some referrals come from other families that have used the program. Really, our main focus is parental resilience, social connections, knowledge of parenting and child development, support systems, and social and emotional competency. And then finally, CABS. You just heard Steve talk about that. You own CABS, so you're very familiar with her. Our ridership is at a little over 36,000 right now. Pre-pandemic was over 50,000. We're trying to build that back up. I'm happy to say that we're fully staffed again with drivers. We are looking at some other future opportunities to expand and to be able to increase that ridership. So our goal in the next couple of years to get back to what we were pre-pandemic. According to our demographic survey, over 49% of the riders, this is their main mode of transportation. And I think, and then also the funding that we receive from the county does count as the local match for our federal support as well. So thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
Well, it's all great information. Roughly, you're kind of splitting up those monies, a third, and a third as far as
Correct.
between those three programs.
Yes.
I know that I see in the paper that there's a study going on about transportation in our community, so I'm excited to see what that might reveal to us as far as maybe how you could help be a solution to some of those things we might find out through that.
Yeah. We have our drivers as well as our riders taking that survey through
Great.
the foundation.
Yeah.
We've spread that and also working with some other nonprofits on some ways we can help with transportation in their areas as well.
Yep.
I know some of those families that are involved with Head Start, and that's a tremendous program.
Yes.
Those kids start out with a deficit, and you go a long ways toward filling that gap.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Vicki.
Thank you.
Next, Glenn with Stillwater Hospice. Getting used to your new name. Not your name, but your organization's.
Good morning,
Good
and
morning.
thank
Good
you
to see
so
you.
much for, once again, allowing me
sure.
to be here. And a new role and a new name. So we come this morning as Stillwater Hospice. Before I share some information with you, I'd like to introduce my new boss, my new CEO. Leslie Friedel is here with me this morning. And
Morning,
also
Leslie.
my coworker, Stacy Leak, who is just here to observe and see how these proceedings go. We're thankful, as always, for the support that we've had as Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice for over 40 years with the county, and we could not provide what we consider world-class hospice and home care without your support. So I first want to thank you for that. As Stillwater, we've not increased our ask this year. Our ask is the same as last year at $50,000 to continue to provide hospice, palliative care, and grief support services. There's a cost to providing that world-class care, and the fact is that even now under Stillwater, Medicare and Medicaid and private insurance reimbursement doesn't fully cover the cost of providing those variety of services that we provide. The gap between that is what we use our funding for to help cover those services, and especially for those patients and families who cannot afford to pay. Maybe they don't have insurance or they're just financially strapped in many other ways. One of the other things that I'm pleased to announce that we offer through Stillwater is the Peggy Murphy Grief Center, which was located in Fort Wayne, but our grief counseling services is a mission program for us. We do not charge for any grief counseling services, and you do not have had to have been connected to Stillwater Hospice to receive those grief services. We're hoping to expand those grief counseling services into our Warsaw office, as well as expanding our palliative care and continuing our hospice care. The other thing that's important to note, and that is that even though our corporate office is located in Fort Wayne, in Allen County, in every community that we serve, when we go before their county commissioners, or in this case, before my commissioners, any grant monies that we received are designated for Kosciuszko County patients and residents, and that money stays in our county. It doesn't go to the corporate office in Fort Wayne. It gets designated for here, and I think that's critical for you to know. It's kind of a different situation, a different world for us now that we're part of a larger corporation. But the fact is that we could not continue to provide the care that we do without your support, and we're just asking that you continue that support with my new company, Stillwater Hospice. And once again, thank you so much. I will say this in closing, and then I'll let Leslie say a word if she'd like to. She's learning not to get behind me because I tend to be a little more vocal and outgoing. In the last year and a half,
Preach it.
I have personally been on the other side of receiving hospice care for my own brother, my aunt, and my dad. And it's interesting when you're on the other side, not as the administrator, not as the caregiver, but as the recipient of that care. And to see the work that they do, they truly are angels on earth. And we spend as much time or more caring for the families as we do for the patient. Our goal is to get the patient comfortable, give them quality of life for as long as they're here. But the work that they do with the families in encouraging them, supporting them, and helping them through the process of losing a loved one is beyond measure. So thank you for your consideration. Leslie, if you'd like to say a word, you'd be welcome to.
I just want to thank you for your support. I know we came before you a few months ago asking for the continued support of Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice. And I am just so encouraged as we've made our way through this transition to see the Kosciuszko residents that work for our team still caring for those Kosciuszko County residents that are facing a life-limiting illness or experiencing grief. And we have the right team here in this community to serve this community. So thank you for your support and as for the financial support, but also for the community for supporting us through this transition.
Any questions?
Thank you for your labor of love. I understand where you're coming from. My brother was in the
Yes.
process last year,
Yeah.
and it was second to none. Those people came from all the way from Akron
Yeah,
every day and just was beside him and the family, and it was awesome. Very good.
wonderful. Thank you so much.
Glenn, question, I know I sent you
Yes.
the other day, forget where we were at, but I know that you were just saying that the transition had went really smoothly and just, is there additional services you're being able to provide now since you're with a larger company, or just even being able to retain your employees? I mean, what are some benefits that you're seeing from this merger?
The big thing that we're seeing right now is just the economies of scale in being able to streamline our supplies ordering. We don't have to keep an inventory of supplies anymore in our office. Through Stillwater, supplies are now shipped directly to the patient's home. Additional resources. My staff is no longer having to be on call 24 hours a day. I say my staff, our staff. The staff nurses who see the patients routinely, those case managers, before they had to be on call 24 hours, 7 days a week, and then on call on the weekend, and then come right back on Monday morning and start a full week of work. Now we have an on-call team that is all they do, is after hours on call. And the routine visit nurses get to see their visits, go home and end their day, and don't have to continue to be on call. Additional resources as far as staffing. Now, our staffing has changed a lot because, before I was the funnel. Everything ran through me, and now we have a finance department, an HR department. So that's been a huge benefit to me. The support that we have received. The big thing that I think I've noticed more than anything is not only Stillwater's heart, but Stillwater didn't come into our Warsaw office and start pulling us to Fort Wayne to learn about them, to learn about how we provide services. They have come here and said, we want to learn from you. And we've found some best practices in Warsaw that they have adapted. We found some best practices from them that we've adapted. So it's been a true merger. It hasn't been I think of it as a merger as opposed to an acquisition where we had to change the way we do things. We've learned a lot. One of our biggest challenges for our nurses has been having to work two systems until just about a month ago. But now everybody's transitioned over to our new medical record system, and We did lose some staff members. A couple of staff members were planning to leave around June anyway, so they chose just not to join the new organization, which I thought was commendable. We did have one staff member who the new role she was offered just wasn't what she wanted to do, and so she got another offer. But in general, I think the staff are settling in, and it's been the right thing to do at the right time. And from my perspective, the Lord just orchestrated it all.
Right on.
Great,
Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
thank you.
Okay, the Historical Society, Greg.
Hey, this is Greg, isn't it? Good morning.
Good morning.
I think last time it was
Good morning.
Greg, but it wasn't Greg.
It's me. Okay, so I'm here for the Kosciuszko County Historical Society. For 2024, we are requesting a budget of $25,000. This is the same amount as we received last year. These funds are very important to us in helping to meet our daily operational expenses such as utilities, insurance, staff salaries, et cetera. This is a very exciting year for us over at the museum. We've had a lot of things going on this past week. We hired a new co-director, Sheila Strickland. She's with us this morning. She has brought a tremendous amount of not only tech savvy, but organizational skills to us that we've been needing for a long time. She's already showing us some great dividends, and we look forward to great things from her. We've got a lot of good things going on. Our two emphases that we currently have going, one was membership. Our membership had lagged to 262 by the beginning of this year. I'm very happy to say as I stand here that due to a very concerted effort, we are now standing at just shy of 450 members, which is the highest it's been in years, very close to an all-time high. So we're really excited about that. Another thing we're trying to emphasize right now is to increase our outreach into the county schools. What can we do to serve the school systems, to bring kids into the museum, teach them more about the history and the heritage of Kosciuszko County? And we're starting to make some inroads there. We've actually had a couple inquiries to do some tours and such, which basically had died off since COVID. So we're real excited about what we've got going on. From a physical standpoint, we were able, partially through the ARPA funding that was provided through the county, to replace 4 aging HVAC units last year, so we've got everything up to date. We've replaced our IT provider this past winter. That's proved to be very beneficial. We're replacing some of our current IT equipment. One of the things that I do have on the table, I would like to install a new security camera system, which would now be able to be integrated with our new computer system. So I think that would be a great boon to us. We currently have 4 security cameras, 3 of them don't work, so that's not doing us any good. I think that's very important, not only from a security standpoint, but also from a liability standpoint. If someone should fall or something like that, we want to be able to have documentation. So we're working on this. I think we're making some great inroads. We're very, very grateful for your continuing support. You've helped to make a lot of that possible. I'd like to take the opportunity, if I can, especially to thank Marcia. She has been absolutely fantastic to work with. And we're very grateful for the support that she and her staff have given us. So, anybody have any questions?
Keep up the good
All
work.
right, thank you.
Great to hear the membership's up.
Yeah, I'm one. I get the magazine. Okay, Beaman Home, Renee. Good morning.
So I am happy to report that I've made it through my first year as the executive director at the Beaman Home as of June 1st. And so I have been working on really getting our budget together and redefining some things with some of our larger grants. So with that, our ask for you today is for $40,000 to assist us with the gap that our larger grants do not fund. We have utilities and different things, insurance, some minor repairs that happen through the year that we haven't really planned for. So there's some things that this $40,000 would definitely help us. We cover 3 counties, so Marshall, Fulton, and Kosciuszko County, and 80% of our clientele is from Kosciuszko County. We had 350 clients from all over the area that we service, and we do outreach programs. We go to those counties, we stay in our county, we travel through our county. We are also have in-shelter clients that stay short-term, emergency, domestic violence care with us. So your assistance would be very great. We would be very grateful for that, and we're always grateful for the help that you provide for us.
Super. Okay.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody questions?
Nope, thank you.
All right. Okay. Senior Services, David.
Good
Morning,
morning.
David.
I'd like to start off by thanking the commissioners for our past support in this time of uncertain funding. Having those regular monthly deposits come in is very well appreciated. As you know, we have three main programs at Senior Services. We are the only over 60 not-for-profit specific in Kosciuszko County. The three programs we have are transportation, home-delivered meals, and the activity center. Transportation, we are all the way from Milford to Silver Lake to Syracuse, all over the county, bringing primarily to Warsaw for medical appointments. We prioritize medical appointments, and then the next priority will be nutritional, that'd be shopping at the stores. And then we do some recreational. We'll be taking some people to the Dixie and Webster for a nice boat ride on Webster Lake. The other program is the home-delivered meals. I always say that one of the most important part of home-delivered meals, on top of the nutritional value of getting a meal, is the wellness check. We train our volunteers to take a look at the seniors, see if they're having a bad day, and in some cases, we have found seniors that were down, and we were able to call 911. And in the 8 years I've been director, I think we've saved 6 or 7 lives by having this wellness check. The third program that we have is the Activity Center. We bring in seniors from Retired Tigers, 802, all the senior living places, not the assisted living, but the senior living places. They have 4 days a week a nutritional real service lunch in the Activity Center. And on Thursday, we have a sponsored lunch where we get upwards to 85 seniors coming in. I'm glad to see Vicki and Steve here. With transportation, we are part of that study also. But we have an exciting new collaboration with Cardinal Services that I'd like to explain to you really quick. Norma Bauer and Tony Peterson from Cardinal came to visit me a few months ago and asked if they could bring in some clients on Thursday to play bingo and have a lunch. Right now, it's only 4, and we could easily accommodate that. They come in with a caregiver, absolutely no problem. The other program that they wanted to assist us on that we've started about 3 months ago is they actually have Cardinal Service clients delivering home-delivered meals with the supervision of Cardinal staff. So they're taking about 1 route every day, and just it helps alleviate some of the stress for us to find the volunteers. So all in all, we probably, with all 3 programs, around 350 seniors total. The SAC does the most that come in, and they come and go there. But home-delivered meals, we're generally running 85 to 100. We have 8 routes all over the county. Any questions at this time?
I just think that's great you're working with CABS, that you two are working together. I think there's a lot of shared vision there between the two of you, and being able to collaborate there is awesome.
And one of the other collaborations, I know I've brought this up in past presentations, is CABS does all our maintenance work. So instead of paying, we pay them, which goes towards their local match. They have a licensed mechanic that's top-notch, and I figure why pay somebody else?
Great.
We good?
I've heard of the measure of a community is how you treat your senior citizens. And these speaks volumes as to how the community cares for people who can't take care of themselves.
Aging as you
keep up the good
lose your
work.
cognitive ability is not always pretty, and the senior population really needs our assistance.
Very good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, David. Okay, last one, Matt with St. Joe River Basin. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Commissioner Conley, I've always heard that the measure of a community is how it treats its water. That's what I've heard.
You probably would.
So, thank you, guys.
You hang with those people, you kind of,
Maybe when I get older, I'll change that a little bit.
no doubt in my mind.
Right? So my name is Matt Mearsman. Technically, I am an employee of the Michigan Area Council of Governments, but I serve as a director of the St. Joe River Basin Commission. We are technically an agency of the state. We were created back in the 80s to address water quality concerns as well as mitigate flood risks in all the lakes and rivers that drain to the St. Joe. So sometimes I always say, Kosciuszko County doesn't have the St. Joe River in it. Why is the St. Joe River here? Well, the northern third or so, about 20% of the county on the north side, most notably Lake Wawasee, drains to the St. Joe River. So you are included. I included a map in your packet. There's actually 15 counties between Indiana and Michigan that drain to the St. Joe. And if you're going to address water quality or flooding concerns, you can't just do it by working in the river alone. You got to get out there on all the land that's draining to it. So that's why, Kosciuszko being sort of the headwaters of our system is so critical. Although you've got all 15 counties draining to the river, our funding and our governance lies entirely on the Indiana side of the line. And so the membership of we are made up of local government members. We've got 6 counties on the Indiana side, and from each of those counties, the commissioners have a member, the surveyor's office, the health department, soil and water, and as well as the largest municipality in each of the counties. So town of Syracuse, in this case, has a member on the commission. And, I want to thank you not only for your financial support over the years, but really your participation in this thing. We've got great turnout from the Kosciuszko County members, and it really helps to, one, get business done, but have that voice from your county is really critical. So Commissioner Groninger has John Roberts on there from Soil and Water, who's been a great member, and Surveyor's Office has helped us out recently and stuff too. So thank you for that. Just to note, the local government appropriations that we receive, there's a table in your packet of how those are broke down. In the statute, it says it's based on land area. So with the town of Syracuse's contribution, what we're asking for from you is 6% of our operating budget. And that's because 6% of the basin in Indiana is in Kosciuszko County. It's about the same as what we asked for last year, less than 1% increase. We had a small increase in our operating budget. And just to know that the local government appropriations that fund our operating budget allow us to leverage 2-to-1 with state funds. So we collect about a total of $60,000 in local government appropriations, but we get about 110 from state funds. So we're able to leverage your funds to do some good stuff. And I'll just share a few highlights from the last year. The big push we've had is around water quality monitoring. We've got a site on Turkey Creek that drains into Lake Wawasee. Work with Wawasee Area Conservancy Foundation on some sites there. But we also have been doing some flow monitoring, installing these water level monitoring devices, kind of like a USGS gauge where you can log onto the internet anytime and see what's flowing through there. I reached out to Marcia and you as well, Commissioner Groninger, about some PCV money that we received, that some of the communities received this year, and we want to offer you the opportunity to, if we want to install one of those, we can use those funds to cover part of the there's some measurements and stuff that need to be taken so that when we install the device, we can get yeah, exactly. And so if the county wants to cover that measurement piece, we'll buy the hardware, we'll pay for the annual service, and we'll have that sucker installed and up and bringing in real-time data, which can help with floodplain mapping and some drainage issues too. So we could put our heads together with Surveyor's Office, and at least, like I said in the email, you can use the money for whatever you want. There is no requirements, but it was intended to be used for monitoring. So if we want to do that, we might be able to offer you a way to leverage those funds. So another thing, urban tree canopy work. So you wouldn't believe how much water trees can take out of the stormwater system. So we worked with town of Syracuse on an analysis of their urban tree canopy to try to identify, and we planted about 50 trees there, but try to identify the areas where if we planted some more trees, where could it take the most water out of the storm sewer system, which saves us money and leads to better water quality. So we worked with them on that, and we recently worked on a big grant proposal. We don't know if we'll get it, but for some Inflation Reduction Act money to do additional tree canopy work throughout the whole basin. And then last but not least, Drain apportionment, so we work with the county drainage boards and the surveyor's offices on benefit apportionment. We've talked at drainage board meetings here in Kosciuszko, not in the last year, but we've definitely talked about it. And Jim Moyer from the surveyor's office came and participated. We had a big symposium on drainage and talked about some of the issues you guys do here and face here in Kosciuszko County. And so try to be there in a support role for the drainage offices. And
Very good.
with that, I'll stop. Any questions?
No, all
All
good
right.
stuff.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for support.
See you, man.
All right.
You're welcome.
All right. Any office holders have anything to bring before us? Not, Ed?
We have a resolution. It's a resolution to establish Kosciuszko County as a broadband-ready community through the state of Indiana's Broadband Ready Communities Program. That's a program that's been created by the state to encourage infrastructure investment for broadband, and I'll read the pertinent part of that resolution here. Whereas the board finds that broadband internet availability in the county is of critical importance to all people living, visiting, and doing business in the county. Whereas the state of Indiana has created the Indiana Broadband Ready Community Program through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation that enables communities to seek the broadband ready designation. And whereas the county seeks to promote private investment in broadband infrastructure, now therefore the following is hereby resolved by the board. And I'll just read from section 3 here. The board shall from time to time appoint a single point of contact for all matters related to a project, and that initial appointee shall be Matthew M. Sandy, County Plan Commissioner, Director. B, establish procedures to allow all forms, applications, and documentation related to a project to be filed or submitted and signed by electronic means. C, review and approve or reject all applications for a permit related to a project within 10 business days after an application is filed or submitted. And D, assure that after an application is approved pursuant to the statute, that any inspections, including any additional necessary approvals related to the project, will occur in a timely and expeditious manner. That resolution is submitted for consideration.